First up, we have Steelers and Bengals. Exciting. We've got the QB matchup of the decade. Kenny Pickett, Jake Browning. Good God. What do we think here? Start neither.
I'd say that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, you really can't. Kenny Pickett is just terrible. We talked about this the other day. I don't care that Matt Canada's gone. He's not the real problem. The real problem is Kenny Pickett. Unless he goes out there and completely balls out against a pretty decent Bengals secondary, which is unlikely. I think Kenny Pickett's the issue. There was a clip floating around on Twitter last week of Kenny Pickett just missing a completely wide open. It could have been anyone, probably Deontay, in the middle of the field. That was his first read, and he just checked off of it. So, he can't be helped. And Browning is worse.
Let's be fair, though. Matt Canada was a good portion of the problem. It may not have all been Matt Canada, but Matt Canada is not innocent in this. I don't think
we're going to find out
good either, but I don't think Kenny Pickett's. Yeah. I think Kenny Pickett's Baker Mayfield.
Did you see the graph the last two games for Pickett? Like they show where the passes are completed. Everything's below 10 yards, and it's on the outside. There's nothing in the middle of the field. It's all like this just U shape of where his passes are. It's the oddest, just awful play calling.
Sounds like offensive line as well. I'm not sure what they're dealing with. I know it's not good, but it's a problem.
The running backs are interesting. Mixon's an easy start here as a low-end RB1. He gets all the work. Nothing to do with anybody else here. Williams, Evans, Chase. Not Chase. I read Chase. It's Chase Brown. Sorry, is the other running back there. They're all just handcuffs. It's interesting on the Steelers side. You're either firmly in the Najee Harris camp or you're firmly in the Jaylen Warren camp. Where do you guys land? Is it Warren time finally, or is Harris still the guy, or where are we going?
I finally moved Warren ahead of Harris this week. I was like, all right, we're doing it. It's happening. They're both low end, like RB2s, like high end RB3s. Like I still expect them to split work. I just expect Warren because he's just been like the most explosive, most efficient running back in the league. Like I'm kind of banking on that with him, but I'm not RB1 status with Warren or anything like that. I'm not going bonkers with that.
No, they're both flexes, which it's sad to admit for Najee, but for Warren, it's nice. I've been flexing Warren for weeks, so I'll continue to roll with him. I have 0 Harris everywhere. I think I have 29 fantasy teams, so no Harris.
I thought you were about to say you have 29 shares of Warren. I was like,
no, completely out on Harris.
I don't believe I have any Harris either, and I did the Dynasty Nerds thing where you do your team appraisal and it tells you which players. And basically, I think out of the top 300 players, there was only like 6 players I had 0% share of in 70. It's 71 leagues now, but in 71 leagues, I think the only 5 or 6 players I didn't own, one was Najee, when the other 2 are Ridley and Madison. I'm sure that was no surprise there.
No surprise.
I own none of them. There was a tight end I own none of, but I can't remember who it was. It might have been – I don't remember. Anyways, there's a tight end and a quarterback to the list, but yeah, he was someone I don't own any of. The wide receivers are more interesting. I don't know.
Wait, Aaron, before you move on, you'll be happy to know I picked up another Ridley share this morning. So,
what'd you get for?
What was it? So this was that league I was talking to you about yesterday, Jesse. So my team kept winning. It was Dynasty Best Ball. I needed to make a move for a quarterback because I had none. JJ coming back. So I ended up sending 2 firsts, a third, and Wandale for Kyler Murray, Calvin Ridley, and P. Ryan and Elijah Moore. So a lot of depth, and Kyler needed the QB, and now I can compete and go for the title. So we'll see.
Like that's the hammer. Like, let's get it.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley.
He shakes his head.
Would have paid 2 firsts.
As long as Zay Jones is playing, baby. As long as Zay Jones is playing, we're good.
Isn't Zay Jones in prison?
Well, he played last week. I don't know what the hell. I thought he was going to get cut. And they're like, oh, guess what? No, you're playing. I was like, oh, I guess he's not getting in trouble.
This is the longest yard.
Those splits with Zay Jones are insane for Ridley, too. Like, it's nuts. So, yeah, keep Zay on the field, and Ridley can ball out.
Wide receivers here. We've got Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I don't know what the hell's going on with Higgins. I think obviously Jamar Chase is the one to play here, although it's a lot scarier with Browning. So I don't think we have a wide receiver 1 in this game. Chase might be a low end one with this quarterback. I think we've got Chase and then a bunch of maybe wide receiver 3s here. Deontay Pickens, Boyd. If Higgins is back, maybe he's a wide receiver 2, but I don't know. This is not a great game. These used to look a lot better than they do right now, these options.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I agree with you with Chase. I'll start him over all these guys. You hope that he gets into the end zone. But really, I'm really interested to see what Deontay is able to do without Matt Canada, if they're able to kind of free him up and just force feed him looks as they should have been doing all along. Freiermuth also interesting, but Deontay is the one I'm looking at in Pittsburgh for sure.
You know what though I'm worried about here with the Matt Canada situation? We did this for years. Every time, every time Allen Robinson got a new quarterback, we said, this is it. He finally got the best quarterback he's ever played with.
Right.
And it never got any better.
It's true.
What if you're right and this isn't a Matt Canada issue and this is a Kenny Pickett sucks issue and Matt Canada was calling shitty plays because Kenny Pickett sucks?
Exactly. I mean, this was this similar situation that we see around the league of the last couple of years. We want to blame the OC, but then they're calling the plays because the QBs are limited, right? This is Kyler Murray's issue. And how come DeAndre Hopkins is only running a route tree on the outside 10 yards and less, right? Well, because you still want to force feed him the ball and you need Kyler to be able to see him and make his first read immediately in Cliff Kingsbury's system. So you see this time and again. I think that's probably what it is. Canada, probably sucks, deserve to go, obviously, but there's only so much you can scapegoat other guys before you have to start looking at the players. And I think we're going to see Kenny Pickett be the same old Kenny Pickett here.
That we are. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one here. Damn it. I see we lost Jesse. He's having some internet issues.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about this shitty game anymore. Yeah. So I don't blame him.
Fair enough. Can't fault him for that. Okay, so the tight ends. Bottom 6 matchup for Irv Smith, who you're not playing anyways. Top 4 for Freiermuth, who is risky. I guess you could probably fire him up as a low-end tight end 1. Sure. The kickers, 12th best matchup for McPherson, who is startable. Boswell, it's the 10th best matchup. He hasn't been, very good this year, but I think he's one of my streamers this week, and I normally hit on my streamers, so I think you start Boswell and McPherson. The DSTs, I think I want to start both of them because this has the makings of another 10-7, 13-10 game. 20th best matchup for the Bengals, starting them anyways if I need to. The Steelers are the 22nd best matchup, but that was with Joe Burrow, so that's only going to get better. So I think you can play them as well. In fact, I think I would prefer to play the Steelers here over the Bengals. How about you?
Yeah, I think by a lot. Browning is just not going to do it. I'm surprised that they're not. There's not much of a market left out there with the way teams are scooping up QBs, but I'm surprised they're not looking around, seeing what they can kind of scrounge off the wire at this point with Browning. But hey, it is what it is. Just force feed the backs in this game, I think.